Hi, everybody. So, we'll be taking a look at escape rooms or level ups or breakouts. There's lots of ways of naming it. It doesn't always have to be just the escape room. Okay, so let's take a look at one that you guys tried in class, and I can show you some sort of the behind the scenes to it. Again, I always like having a little bit of like, even if it's just a little intro. Some people do like having a longer narrative, and that's like their driving force. It kind of depends on what I'm doing. This one was pretty short. I give them a little backstory, just something to start. Again, you want to chunk information, particularly when you're doing these, so that there are pieces and clues to get to the next level. Okay, so I had a reading here. This is sort of a beginning. Sometimes with these, I'll have before they sort of get into the escape room or get locked down. Um, there's some background information where they're learning and reviewing, and then I often will start the lock on like section 3 or so. But that's totally up to you. Okay. So one of the things I want to show you guys, again, there's all sorts of different puzzle types and things that you can include. But I want to show you the formatting. So you've picked your puzzle, you have whatever code, maybe it's a number code, a letter code, a secret code word. It could be a lot of different things. But what you want to focus on is how the formatting goes. In this case, I did a short answer, and the short answer is going to be a number code, a four-digit number code. And to get that, I did the 3 dots, and I hit this response validation. Response validation gives me the ability to lock them in this section. They cannot move forward until they get it exact. And in this case, I made it a number, but you can see it could be a text. I tend to stay away with the other two. Yeah, number or text are the two that I go with. The number can be equal to, or if you're doing inequalities, it could be a range, could be less than, greater than, what have you. But usually it's a code for me, so it's going to be equal to. And then I do want to give them an error response. So if they put it in wrong, they need to do it again and again. I don't want to frustrate them because maybe they just put the format in wrong. Maybe they added spaces. So I try to give them some encouragement and formatting info here, so they're not just stuck there and frustrated. They can do something to move forward. So again, they won't be able to move past this puzzle until they get the exact code 9694. Once they do, they move on. I like giving sections in between where it continues that story, so to speak. Then they get to their next lock. This one's a jigsaw puzzle with the link. Notice again when you're in teacher mode or editing mode. It's not a live link. When you're in the preview mode, if you go to preview mode, this would be a live link they can click on. This one is, again, I used a short answer, response validation. This one's a text, and it's a 3-letter. Notice I'm giving them as much information as I can about the formatting, because really that's not what I want them to be frustrated about. I want them to learn the content and have fun with it. And if they're frustrated because they did, lowercase versus caps, that's taken away from the engagement. Okay, so let's keep going. Again, they get a little more feedback. Another short answer text. There we go. And at the end, really strongly recommend having some sort of like, yay, you escaped, or hurrah. Let's take a look at another one. Did a Jumanji one. I got this from another teacher, and I kind of formatted it for myself, my students. So I have a welcoming, again, a little bit of a backstory. I get them started. They have their puzzle. This one, again, is another short answer. The text, it's a code word this time. And again, that's that response validation. Let's take a look. Again, they get their feedback. They go up to the next level. Multiple choice is fine too. Multiple choice works. Let me scroll back down where I was. There you go. Now, for the multiple choice to make it them not just guess and move on, you have to, in this case, do a go to section based on. And I keep them in the same section if they get it wrong. So this is section 4, level 2. If they choose any of these incorrect answers, they stay in this level. They only get to move on to the next section if they choose the correct answer. So multiple choice can be another way, particularly if we're worried about units or formatting and things. I'm giving them choices, but again, they can't just guess and move on, right? They have to get it correct before they can move on. And that is to go to section based on answer. And that only works for multiple choice questions that go to section based on answer. Again, give them more feedback. They go to their next level. Again, and you got another multiple choice. So I'm using that go to section based on answer to lock them in, not let them level up until they get it correct. And giving them gifts, feedback, more of a story. Here I do have a, wait, sorry, let me scroll back down. Keeps jumping on me. There we go. Here I have a short answer, so you can see, again, I'm using response validation. And they continue on. This gives you an idea. So it doesn't always have to be something spooky or creepy. It can be sort of more fun or adventurous. And again, having that nice ending. I'm just going to show you one more. Okay. This one has a little bit more of a narrative throughout it, and less puzzles for them to solve, and more of a narrative. Okay, so they're going to be magicians doing this escape. Again, in section 2, they're not going to be part of that escape room leveling bit. Here is just sort of their review. So here I'm not using response validation. I'm not using section 1 answer. I'm just really having them, it's like a quiz, this part of it, really. So you can see these are just straight up multiple choice. That's it. I do require all the questions. That is something to know. Okay. So they're doing their matching, they're reviewing their terms, and then they're going to get to what is going to be the sort of the escape your bonds and using that information. Okay. Sometimes I put in just fun questions in. It doesn't always have to be so serious. And, it can make it worth a point because it makes that if you make it an obvious answer, or you can just change it to no points. I can change that to just no points. And they can just, it doesn't matter what they pick. Okay. You can see here I'm doing more of a narrative in this. And that narrative is going to go along with what they're learning in class. It's just a different way of learning and applying their knowledge. Again, here I'm not, they're just getting the points. I could have turned this into a go to section based on answer and locked them into this. It's up to you. Do notice I did shuffle option order. I'll pretty much always do that for multiple choice questions. Okay. So again, you can see more of that narrative. Adding gifts, I think, really helps them continue with the narrative and not get bored with it. And there you go. Okay. So you have different kinds of puzzles. You can use the short answer. Again, short answer, you want to use that response validation. You can also use multiple choice. Go to section based on answer. Let's see if I can find one of those. Here you go. Oh, gosh, it's jumping around on me. There we go. All right, go to section based on answer. Or you can have more of that narrative that's driving them along. Okay, it's really your choice. Play around with it and have fun. Make something, adventurous for your own students.